Happy Wednesday, guys. It's the 5th of March, 2025. Welcome back to a new episode of the Block Research Newsflash. Yesterday, the news from Binance arrived that USDT will actually be delisted because of the MiCA regulations on the 31st of March, 2359 UTC. And yeah, this was kind of expected. I didn't expect it to happen so soon. And for Tyson Pro, we have to now see if we're gonna use USDC or Euro and USD as the main trading pairs as the quote currency. Probably it's going to be USDC, but we have to wait for the info from our quant for that. And if you're asking yourself, why is this actually happening? Why does the European Union introduce MiCA and forces the exchanges now to delist non-MiCA compliant stablecoins? The point of the whole thing is that, for example, USDT is not having cash reserves on European banks, or not at least the major amount of that reserve is there. So the European Union doesn't have the control over that assets, right? Instead, USDT is buying into bonds, which is much safer, because they don't have just a 100K insurance on the bank. It's much safer, and that's actually how USDT is making their money. They're taking the interest, the guaranteed interest that they're getting from the bonds, which is very smart and very safe. But of course, the European Union doesn't have as much control as if it would be on European banks. So that's why they force them out. Yeah. Not nice, but not much we can do about it. So we gotta switch to other stablecoins from here. The big topic, of course, Trump at the joint session of Congress. Very important to understand what do these policies that come into play and what do these tariffs that come into play do to the economy. If you look at Trump's tariffs so far, for the European Union, there has been a tariff rate of 25% on all goods, and Bloomberg economics forecast on that is that there's a risk of a 70% cut in European exports into the US. So that's hitting 1.5% of the European GDP. And for China, there are those 10% plus 10% tariffs, and those are nearly twice as high as in Trade War I, risking more than 50% of a drop in China's exports to the US. That's really massive. So this definitely explains why risk-on sentiment is dropping, why stocks are falling, why crypto is declining, and also why he wants the long-term yield curve to drop. That's also why bonds are currently rising, and that even clarifies why gold is performing so well at the moment. It's because, on the one hand, Trump is interested in using it as collateral to have more money, as a safety mechanism. And on the other hand, it explains why he wants to make deals with Russia, China, Europe, and others, in my view, by threatening with tariffs and then motivating them to buy bonds. It also explains why he really only is interested in stablecoins when it comes to crypto. Why do you think that is? It's because that could mean hundreds of billions of dollars flowing into bonds. He even announced today that he wants to sell federal properties as his other way to reduce debt. But there's a catch here that many people seem to struggle with. People always think, yeah, he just needs to print more money and buy his own bonds, right? And of course, this is a case that always works. But then we'd end up exactly what we had from 2021 till 2024. Quick inflation that could really spiral out of control, become even more problematic than it is already right now. Again, this doesn't mean I'm right. It's just how I view this scenario. It's not like if I have a crystal ball, but I have my own buying power and it's my responsibility to use it wisely. Those are my returns, and that's why I want to have my own thoughts and make my own decisions. For me, everything Trump is doing right now and everything moving in that direction highlights what he needs to do and that he is actively pursuing it. In my view, things won't really turn around until either he backs down or he reaches his goal, which will probably be around the end of the year. And it's also why there's such an absolute turbulence with the markets right now, being extremely nervous. You can see it also in the liquidations, on the liquidation heat maps, on CoinGlass. There's an important saying relevant in both baseball and poker. Not only is it important to know how much you're betting and how hard you swing, but it's also crucial to know when to stop. That's really important because otherwise you keep pushing forward and end up losing all your money. And of course, that's the crucial point. That's how I see things right now. And I believe it's something many people struggle with. There was a small pump in Bitcoin. It's not entirely clear whether that was just a bit of hope that maybe the tariffs would come down after all, or if it was something else. I could imagine it was maybe both of them. But yeah, that will be more clear on Monday. That's basically my outlook. That's all for today. I wish you a great Wednesday ahead. Take care. My very best regards, Timo from Block Research AI.